When I used to start a new project, I had a very clear vision in my head of what I wanted it to be and what I wanted it to accomplish. I made it my mission to do justice to that image in my imagination and turn it into something real. Sometimes this happened, but most of the time it didn't. Usually it all fell apart because I was so specific and particular about what I wanted the result to be. I told myself I would only be happy with the result once I could bring that idea in my head to life, exactly as I envisioned it from the start. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was basically dictating the terms of my creativity. This was like a brute force way of being creative. My work would only be acceptable if it matched with my initial inspiration. There was a very narrow window of what was acceptable, so I worked hard to make it fit in those dimensions. Essentially, my expectations for each project became more important than my creativity. I was doing creative work, but that creative work was being ordered by my expectations, and it made the whole process more agonizing than rewarding. But lately, something is starting to change. I'm more open to not knowing what the final product will be. I'm more open to not expecting a certain outcome from each piece. I'm more open to the process of discovering as I go, instead of assuming from the start. I'm more inclined to play while creating, instead of scrambling to reach some arbitrary finish line. I'm more inclined to go with the current of my own creativity, instead of trying to fit it into narrow spaces. Of course, all of the tightening I mentioned earlier still occasionally happens, but on the whole, something is starting to loosen. When I sat down to write this piece, I didn't know what it would become, or whether it would turn into anything at all. Maybe an article, a journal entry, or just a text file on my computer that never got opened again. But before I would have dictated exactly what the format and result needed to be before I even got started. I'm not sure exactly, but it seems like there's a certain kind of liberation that comes from being open to the result of your creative work. It doesn't have to be anything. It can be whatever it needs to be, if you let it.